I'm going live. Greetings everyone. So I'm live on Facebook and on Instagram for the first time in a while. I don't like going live on two platforms sometimes, but I wanted to share the message in both places. So I wanted to come on today, firstly, to let you know that I am now selling vitamin C powder and an immune boosting bundle that you can find. Greetings family, thank you for joining me. That you can find on my website at thenaturallyyoucoach.com/shop. So in the I'm selling pure vitamin C powder. It comes in 100-gram bags or 200-gram bags, and you basically need like between half a gram and a gram of vitamin C powder a day, roughly, to get a good maintenance dose to help support your immune system. And you can put that vitamin C powder into water, juice, smoothies, as an easy way to take it in. And because it's a powder, it's quite easily absorbable. So you can find that on my website at thenaturallyyoucoach.com. Greetings, Tilly. Thank you for joining me, sis. Oh, lovely. And I also have an immune boosting bundle, which includes the vitamin C powder. Greetings, Kiki. So the immune boosting bundle contains the vitamin C powder, 2 bags of Irish moss, and the Raw Biotics. And Raw Biotics is a liquid probiotic supplement that you take 30 mils of every morning. And it's like a fermented drink, and it also comes with a combination of gut healing herbs or gut supporting herbs, because most of us know that nearly 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So this supplement, this probiotic liquid drink, helps to support our gut health with the herbs and by reconstituting it with healthy, easy to absorb, plant-based raw probiotics. So that's the first bit of news. Greetings, Henny. Thank you for joining me, sis. So so basically, I'm coming on today to give some advice, not in any professional capacity. I am not a professional financial advisor, business advisor. I'm just sharing this as just from my observations of being not only a Black-owned business, but a Black-owned or a Black consumer, somebody who wants to support the Black economy. So we all know that there's a lot of initiatives that are happening. Greetings, lovely people. Thank you for joining me today. We all know there's a lot of initiatives that are happening to help support the Black community. And I'm not talking just about Black Lives Matter and all the big corporations jumping on the Black Lives Matter bandwagon right now so that they can all sound politically correct, even though Black Lives Matter has been around, and that concept and the need for Black people to be treated equally has been around for a very long time. And now all of a sudden everybody's jumping on it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what we've been trying to do in the Black community for years, which is to support Black businesses more, because most of us understand that our power comes from our unity, and part of that unity is us unifying ourselves financially and creating a strong economy within the Black community so that we don't have to rely so heavily on other people sometimes for our basic necessities. So in the wake of what's been happening, people are calling for things like, Black empowerment through supporting Black businesses. The brother Swiss has got the initiative that he started called the Black Pound Day, which is going to be on the 27th of June, where he wants us to just support Black businesses on that day. There's another group that have started up something called, I think it's the Blackout Week. So we had the Blackout Tuesday where everyone changed their social media profile. And now there's a Blackout Week as well. So no matter what it's called, no matter how you cut it, greetings. Thank you for joining me, lovely people on Instagram and Facebook. Hey, greetings, brothers, people on Facebook as well. These initiatives have been happening for a while. I remember we did one some years ago when I was still living in Luton. We did one where it was 3 days that we boycotted. Greetings, Insight to Marketing. Thank you for joining me. We boycotted. Okay, all right. We chose to spend our money in Black businesses for 3 days straight. So these things have been going for a while. And like I said, they've been kickstarted again because of the police brutality that's been showing up in the news. And this whole movement that's been reignited, I guess, around us supporting ourselves. But my concern with all of these things is, number one, let me just preface this by saying, I'm not saying we shouldn't do this. I 100% think we should be supporting Black businesses. No, I'm going to twist my words now. I 100% think we should be supporting all the initiatives, Black Pound Day, Blackout Day, Black Week, Black 3 days, Black Month, Black whatever it is. I 100% support everything Black. I'm like Issa Rae. I'm rooting for everything Black. Blackety black black to the Black. However, my concern is, and has always been, that, and I know this is part of the marketing that some of these initiatives are doing right now. It can't just be a moment that we do these for. It has to be something long term. It has to be a movement. And I know Black Pound Day, that's one of the messages they have. This can't be a moment. It has to become a movement. Because we know when we promote these things on social media, do we not think that all the other businesses that we're going to stop supporting aren't on social media and they haven't seen the Blackout Day and they don't know that on this particular day or on this particular week, we possibly may not be going to their shops as much. So we're going to go to the shops a lot the day before and possibly a lot more the day after. Like, that's why it has to be more than a day. So on the day, it will give us the opportunity to discover more businesses. On that day, we'll be able to support more Black businesses and give more money to those businesses on that day. But it has to be something we do in a more prolonged way. It has to be something we do and turn it into a movement, just like it said. Now, obviously, everybody is in different positions and some people may feel like they're only able to support it for one day. But when real change is made, it's with a sustained impact. If we think back to when things really kicked off. Greetings, Michelle. Thank you, sis. Consistency will be a challenge for many. A lot of it, I'm like, yeah, as I don't think everyone is genuine or ready to keep it consistent. Why do it for just one day or 1 week? Exactly. They'll just drop some offers and retarget new groups. They're not stupid. This is a behavior change needed. Exactly. Thank you for Insights Marketing for that. And for Michelle on Facebook for that message. So again, people, I'm not saying this, V's not saying this, none of us are saying we shouldn't support these initiatives, but we have to consider how we make these changes more long term. And that's the advice that I'm giving. I'm actually doing this live to say that I think we should support these things, but I'm actually giving, and again, this is not my professional opinion as a financial advisor. This is just from my experience as as a business owner and a conscious consumer. There's a sister called Iola C. Williams. She's Dean Okai's wife. So you'll find her on Facebook and Instagram, and she speaks about consumer responsibility and conscious consumerism and things like that. And so the effort needs to be on the part of the businesses, the Black-owned businesses, and us as consumers. But again, I'm going to give more specific things that I think we can do that will make the impact easier to sustain long term, so everyone's a winner. Because if we look back to when things were most impactful, we're looking back to things like the Montgomery bus boycott and the Bristol bus boycott. They didn't just boycott the buses for a day. They boycotted the buses when Rosa Parks was kicked off. And bear in mind, Rosa Parks wasn't the first person to have that situation. Other people experienced that same discrimination on the buses. Rosa Parks was the one that, it was maybe the straw that broke the camel's back. It was the one that was highlighted, and it was what triggered the Montgomery bus boycott. But with that Montgomery bus boycott, they decided as a group collectively to boycott the business for 13 months. They boycotted the business to the point where they had to, the bus companies had to lay off staff, drivers, admin staff, to the point where the company's staff themselves were like, you don't need to do something about this. We need to get the Black people back on the buses, because they're serious. They ain't even playing. They didn't just take the weekend off. They didn't just take like a week off or a month off. They've been off for 13 months, not even a year, 13 months. They stayed off the buses. They walked 45 minutes to work, 45 minutes back, carpooling. They put in some effort. And I fully appreciate, like, not just millennials. I'm not just saying this to people born recently, because I'm actually considered a millennial. Could you believe it? I know I look young, but I'm actually considered a millennial, considering when I was born. And I'm not just talking about super young people like me, but I think the world in general is used to convenience and speed. So we want things tomorrow. Like I was talking to my brother about like, you know, land development and buying land in Africa and all these kind of things. And we were both talking about the fact that people want things a bit too quick. Like these days we're talking about, okay, let's move to Africa next year or in the next 18 months. We need to think more of the long game because that's when it's going to be more achievable for most of us. Let me just jump into some of these comments before I rush too far forward. And to be honest, cost isn't an issue because not all black businesses are expensive, but I see a lot of people making the excuse that they can't afford to buy black, which is nonsense. Thank you, V. I 100% agree with that. V from Insight to Marketing. Some riots and protests went on way longer. People need to research. Exactly, 100%. Yes, lengthy to make impact, not just one day. Yep, agreed, sis. I need to research this history. Yeah, so yeah, no, sis, listen, sis, the research that I'm doing about most black history is stuff that I've done in the last few years. It's not like stuff that I grew up knowing, because most of this hardly any of this was taught to us. We have to be proactive with our learning, which is why I highly recommend everyone goes and checks out Black History Studies. They have all of their talks have moved online now. So we learned about pre-slavery history, Black history the other day. Tonight at 7:00, Dr. Les Henry is doing a talk called Awademagwanwid, where he speaks about media manipulation. And I think if you go to Black History Studies right now, you can still book tickets for that. And yeah, so there's so many places where we can learn more about our history and how impactful we are when we move as a unit, when we move together. Maybe on our own, we're not as impactful, but when we move as a unit, we can be more impactful. So again, when we're talking about like boycotting or like blackout days and stuff like that, again, I think the organizers understand this, but I don't think everyone understands this, because I've heard some people say, well, what's Tesco's ever done to us? What's Sainsbury's ever done to us? What's the petrol station guy ever done to us? They're not part of the system of police brutality and all that kind of stuff. Now, the point of it is, for myself, I know, and a lot of other people, isn't because we're trying to necessarily want to bun other businesses. We just want to redirect support to businesses who are owned by people of color, because we know that that is part of the solution to the problem we're facing. It's like when we're talking about black love, we're not talking about black love, which means we hate white people. It means we just want to redirect the love that we've been giving externally to other races by supporting them financially, because crumbs. Someone please remind me in the comments who the great man that said, to whom you give your money is who you give your power. Like, we're giving our power away to a lot of people, and power is the energy we're giving them in the form of money, in the form of support, in the form of viewership. All of that is power. All of that is energy, and love is a type of energy. So we need to love back on ourselves and love back on our black businesses. And love also requires patience. Love also requires understanding. So like V said, a lot of black businesses aren't in fact more expensive than regular businesses. We're just like, oh no, it's 5p more, so we're gonna go back to the shop that we used to shop at before and not support this business. We have to be patient with our black businesses, because not all black businesses have the buying power that other businesses have. So we have to support those black businesses by maybe paying a little bit more sometimes, so those black businesses can have more revenue to be able to make bigger orders, which will then feed into them being able to offer the products to us at a smaller rate. So love is involved, patience is involved. So that's where support really comes in. Word, yes, thank you, people. All right, so I have some requests and some ideas for not only for consumers, but for black businesses as well, of how we can make this change more long-term and more sustainable. And so it's a win-win all round. So for consumers, number one, please definitely aim to support the causes when they are happening, when the initiatives when they're happening, whether it's the Black Pound Day on the 27th of June, whether it's a blackout week, whether it's a blackout weekend, whatever it is, aim to support them as much as you possibly can. Do a bit of research. The people that are running the initiatives have normally put together, or if you go on their Instagram feed or Facebook feed, there's a lot of people posting black-owned businesses that we can support on that day. Jamelia did videos on different black-owned businesses that she's been supporting that we can support on these days as well. So definitely aim to support the initiatives whenever you see them, because again, even if it means, as a black business, if it means that I know on the 27th I can run a I can, make sure I'm fully stocked or run a sale or a discount on that day because I know that on that day I'm going to possibly make more money because I'm a Black owned business. That's good for me. And me as a consumer as well, I'm going to go and look for other Black businesses that I can support as well. So we all should still be moving as one. The next thing I would recommend though is share constructive feedback or constructive criticism, if you want, with the businesses that you do support or that you do know of that would make you come back to and buy from them more. Because sometimes we have all these complaints about certain businesses and we don't share them with the business owners. We share them on social media, we share them with our friends, but we don't politely share them with the business themselves so that the business can take that feedback on and make changes so that you're more likely to come back, because that is, again, patience and real support. That's real care. You care enough about that business's development to share with them what you think could possibly help their business support you more, so you'd be more likely to go back and spend money with them, and other people are more likely to go back and spend money with them as well. So that's key. Don't be scared to do that. Don't assume the business owners are going to take it badly when you share feedback. Don't stand up in the middle of the shop. You see, you can't keep the place clean. Every time we come in here, the place dirty. Just take the owners to the side and say, listen, sis, bruv, I've noticed that when I come in here, the floor's a bit dirty sometimes. So it might be a good idea for you to get some extra staff to come in and clean the floor more periodically, because it might make the place look a bit more, presentable. And then you might get more sales because a few people have mentioned it as well. We do it diplomatically and hopefully the business owner will take it on. So support the initiatives, give constructive feedback to the business owners themselves. Also, and I think this is really key, let business owners know what you need from them and see if they can provide it. Now, right, I'm not, especially things like consumables, because again, we might think, okay, I have to go and get, I eat a lot of free from stuff. My children, gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, all of that kind of stuff. So there's been times when I've asked Black businesses, can you source and stock free from products so that I can buy them from you instead of buying them from other places? Because, it's a consumable that I'm going to, we're a family of 8, we spend a lot of money on groceries. So if someone can stock the things that we buy, we can easily make that transition and that change. But again, not all a lot of business owners don't they don't work with V from Insight to Marketing. They kind of, when you work with business coaches and branding and marketing coaches, they will recommend that you ask your audience what they want instead of guessing what your audience wants. And then as a business, you stock a load of stuff or you create a load of services that your audience don't want. And then you complain that no one's buying this stuff. And that's because you didn't ask them what they wanted. And you might stock 10 things and your client base only really wants 2 of them. And then those 2 fly off the shelves. And then you don't restock them because you're trying to sell the other 8 that you've bought that the consumers didn't want in the first place. So consumers, let your businesses know, can you stock these things? I'm talking about basic groceries, washing up liquids and toilet paper and, even if it's a clothes business. Yeah, we've got a lot of African clothes businesses that make beautiful clothes. But if you know that your children go through white socks like no one's business when they go back to school in September, or they go through underwear like no one's business, then ask Black clothes businesses, can you stock some simple underwear, just simple stuff, not stuff you have to buy. Go and buy it bulk somewhere on Alibaba, AliExpress, I don't care where you're buying it from. Let me just buy it from you, as opposed to another shop that sells it that I would normally go into. And yeah, we might need to pay £1 more, but if we know that you're supplying it, then we can come and get it from you. And again, I understand this is maybe not something that everybody has necessarily considered, but it is definitely an option if we ask them if they can stock it, and just see what they say. They may not be able to stock everything, because I know people have asked me to stock stuff and I'm just not in a position to be able to do so. But when people do ask me to stock stuff, 100% I will do my best to stock it. Now, when you ask these companies to stock stuff, make sure you go back and buy it. Make sure you go back and buy it, because another consideration is I've spoken to some shop owners and asked them, can they stock stuff? And they've said to me, people have asked me to come to put this in my shop, and I buy it, put it in the shop, and then they never come back and buy it. So again, there's that responsibility there as well. If you're going to ask a a shop to stock something for you, please do make sure you're in a position to actually go back and buy that from them on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or however much, so that they know they can trust your trust you when you ask for stuff, so you're working together. It's more of a reciprocal thing. And then obviously set a goal to support Black businesses on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on stuff that they already buy. So we've got a Black food shop that's just opened up down the road a few months ago, and we've made a point to make sure we go there every week and spend a portion of our grocery budget with them on a regular basis. And we have asked the brother to stock stuff for us, and he has bought stuff in for us, and he can see that we come in and get it regularly, so he makes sure he keeps the place those particular products stocked for us as much as possible. And again, he can see that we're working with him. You might slip a little overripe plantain in the bag when we like go and buy £20 of shopping, because he knows that we're always coming in and we're always supporting him. So that's my advice for consumers. Lessons learned is needed from your customers. Yep, thank you, sis. Loving this live. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you, sis. Thank you very much. Supermarkets can cut the costs. Smaller businesses. Yes, indeed. We'll look at Black History Studies. Oh yeah, that's good. They've got some brilliant courses on there, sis. All right, thank you so much for the comments. Word. Thank you. Right, so that's my suggestions for consumers, for us as customers. Support the initiatives. Leave constructive feedback with the businesses on what you feel would help you come in there more if they took on that advice. Let them know what you need so that they can stock it and you can become a regular customer of theirs, and make sure you go back and stock it. And when they're and then make a plan to support a Black business, like even if it's just for things like coconut oil. You know that the West Indian brother down the road sells coconut oil. Make sure every time you need coconut oil or coconut milk or something, you always go to that particular shop to buy it. Even if it's 10p cheaper in the supermarkets, just have that in your head. Get into the habit of doing it. Get into the habit of supporting a Black business on a more regular basis. And again, on the days like the Black Pound Day or the Blackout Week, you might discover Black businesses that you didn't know about before, that you can start adding to your list of Black businesses that you do want to support and you want to and once you've supported them and had a good experience with them, make sure you promote them to other people as well. Again, just like the other people are doing when they have good experiences with people and businesses, they share them online. Please do make sure you share them and let people know what you bought, what the experience was like, and share and aim to share the positive stuff, because human beings in general are brilliant at sharing and spreading the news about negative experiences. In fact, there's a statistic like we're 7 times more likely to go online and talk about a business we've had a bad experience with than we are to go and share a good experience that we've had. But let's change that narrative. Let's change that paradigm, and let's start sharing even the smallest things that somebody does. If you go into the shop and it looks like you're struggling with stuff and the shopkeeper offers you a basket, like share little things like that. When someone slips a little ripe plantain into your bag when you spent some money, share that. And that is Libs. For anyone that lives in Wolverhampton, there's a West Indian food shop called Libs, and it is on Bushbury Road, I think it is. It's near Heath Town Park, and that's where we get a lot of our West Indian food shops. So everyone definitely go down and support them. Good to see and hear you, sis. Very positive, practical advice. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, my love. Thank you. It's lovely to see you too, Claudette. Right, now this is advice for businesses, right? Now, businesses, again, I'm going to recommend, and this is, I take on this advice as well. Ask customers what they want and respond to it if you can. So in the same way, consumers should ask businesses, can you please stock this? Can you provide this particular service? And, when I'm talking about services, I know it's easy for us to kind of fall into things like grocery shopping and all those kind of things. But even if there's a company that does hair, like there's a hair salon, and right now they don't provide a particular service that you really want, ask them if they'd be willing to provide it. If it's a masseuse, a massage consultant, and they don't do like pregnancy massage, ask them if they would be willing to get someone that does specialize in pregnancy massage to come in because you're pregnant, or your cousin's pregnant, or your wife is pregnant and you want to get her a massage. Again, clothes businesses that make really beautiful bespoke clothes, and you just need something really simple. Can you just buy some leggings in it so I don't have to go to Primark? I'm telling you, the Black business that just sells black leggings, just sell some black leggings. I beg you lot, sell some black leggings And then everyone that's going to Primark, everyone that's going to Sainsbury's and all these places, I don't know, Peacock, I don't even know where you get these things from, H&M, yeah, all those places. If someone just puts up a post saying black-owned business selling black leggings, you will get business. Let's keep things really dialed back down to the simplicity, because after we've bought the beautiful, Kente, Ankara fabrics, dresses or tops and stuff like that, sometimes we all need a good pair of black leggings to put underneath them. The company that decides they're going to buy some black leggings and sell them widely is likely to make stuff, and it can be seen as what's called a loss leader. You may not make a lot of money on selling these black leggings, but it's something that a lot of sisters wear. And what it will do is it will bring more traffic to your website or to your shop. And while they're there, they're like, oh, I might have that little hairband. I might buy that little skirt. I might buy that little blouse to go with I might buy those Unk earrings to go with my black leggings. Now you've brought me here. Loss leaders, this is what the big supermarket chains do. There's no reason why we can't do these things as well. And if you're worried that you can't afford to add more products to your line, I fully understand that is definitely a consideration. But sometimes putting that extra investment in for something that works can be worth it long term. So, yeah. The other thing that I would recommend that you do is let the community know how they can help you. So, for example, again, we eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables in our shop, in our house. And I know that you need like certain refrigeration and air conditioning in your shop to be able to sell fruits and vegetables sufficiently. And, you have to kind of buy things more in bulk and all those kind of things. But if you know that the community feedback that you've got is that they buy a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, lettuces and cucumbers and kale and spinach and all those kind of things, but you don't have maybe you don't even have the money to buy the initial bulk orders of it, or you don't have the refrigeration for it, and you work out that as a business, it's going to cost you maybe $5,000 to put in the infrastructure and to make the big bulk orders that you need to get things going. But you know that if you do that and you invest that $5,000 in your business, then you've got a load of customers who have said that they will support your business. And again, this goes back to consumer responsibility. If you've asked these businesses to provide these services and they find a way to provide these services, then please make sure you go back and actually patronize these businesses who have responded to your call. Now, once you've worked out what you need for your business, you can then either you might want to go down the funding route. You might want to go down the bounce back loan route, all those kind of things. But the other thing you can do is actually ask the community to support you. Ask the community, I don't know, some people maybe feel a way to let their customers know, okay, this is how we want to build and develop our business. Can you help us do it? The worst that's going to happen is they're going to say no, but a lot of people are putting their hands in their pockets to donate to things right now. Like Black Lives Matter has raised a lot of money in the UK and in America. They raise a lot of money. A lot of black organizations are raising a lot of money right now. Now, if you decide you're going to do a fundraiser and you let the community know, listen, we want to be able to provide you with the products and the services that you use more regularly so that we can build our business. We are a black business. We want to build our business so we can employ black staff, so we can support the black community, so we can donate to black organizations and black events that are happening. But we need your help to be able to do this. And you run a fundraiser, whether it's on GoFundMe, whether you just have a bucket in the store, whether you stand outside your store with a bucket, whether you ask people to make donations via PayPal, whatever it is, you ask people to donate money. And then you work out how you can reciprocate people's generosity. If everyone that donates gets a little voucher to get 10% off when you do install and implement the equipment and all that kind of stuff, so that the community supports what you want to do, and in turn you'll be able to support them by being able to provide them the same products that they were buying in other places but in your store. And I know for a fact a lot of people would support that. A lot of people would would be willing to support that. And I know a lot of people will jump back into, but we might give them the money and then they don't use it, or they spend it on something else, or blah, 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 blah. Let's aim to keep things positive and just think the best. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty in this situation. Investing in our black businesses is going to yield a return for us. The more the community, the more our businesses can see that we're willing to support them, the more able they will be to support us. Because I know that there's a lot of Black businesses that want to support us. They want to be able to, give out free bottles of water to, local, sports events that are happening with the children, or go into schools and, give out stuff the way that the other big companies do, but they're just not in a position to. And that's because we're feeding money into a lot of the big corporations, and we're almost avoiding the other slightly smaller businesses. So it starts with us kind of trying to work together with that. The other thing that I would recommend is that Black businesses listen to the feedback that they're getting from their consumers, without getting all up in their feelings about it, without taking offense to it, without being offended. Appreciate the feedback that you're being given, because again, it can take a level of bravery in some cases to approach a business owner and let them know, politely and without wanting to start an argument, politely and diplomatically letting a business owner know your feedback. Whether they've had a bad experience with you, whether they feel that there's something that your business is lacking. And if you don't get in your feelings about it, and you accept and appreciate feedback that you're given, and then more importantly, when someone does give you feedback, like the windows are always dirty in your shop, or every time you post out products to me, they're always a bit late, or the packaging is a bit creased. When you get that feedback as a business, and you acknowledge that feedback, then what you can do is build a relationship with your customers by replying to them, or if they're face to face with you, talking to them and saying, you know what, I appreciate you sharing that feedback with us. Because this is what big businesses do. They ask for feedback. Thank you for sharing your feedback with us. We're going to, do our best to provide the best service for you. We appreciate your custom, and we want to show you that you're appreciated too. And when you have done something about it, maybe the next time you post something out to them, or the next time they come into their shop, you let them know, listen, we listened to your feedback. I hope you have noticed that the windows look cleaner. I hope you noticed that in this order, the packaging is not being creased, and we try to get it to you promptly as we possibly can. And maybe even give like a discount or a voucher or a little free gift to them when they do come back and patronize your business after they've given you the feedback, rectifying problems when they arise, as opposed to blaming the customer and all these kind of things, like, as well as the kind of basic business, like customer service type stuff. These are like specific actions, not just kind of general things, specific actions that we can take as Black consumers and that Black businesses can take, so that we can build a relationship together, and together we can grow. Because it's not just on the fault. You don't understand how much I cannot stand it when a Black business folds, a Black business can't maintain, and they go bust, and they blame the whole community. No one supported us. We opened this business. No one came to support us. Doors were open. No one would come in. People just come in, complain about stuff, blah, 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 blah. I can't stand that. I cannot stand that, because it shows the business has taken no responsibility in doing what a business needs to do. And again, when you've been in business for some time, you understand businesses go through ups and downs. When you first open a business, there's going to be a bit of a hype. You might get a bit of a rush of customers or a rush of clients, or sometimes it can be a bit of a slow build until you get some customers. But when you do have that initial rush of customers, it's quite possible that there'll be a lull, there'll be a dip. And when that dip happens, or before that dip happens, in fact, you need to have a plan in place of how you're going to keep going, what marketing you're going to be doing, what promotions you're going to be doing, what you're going to be doing to keep and retain customers, as opposed to blaming customers for not coming to you. And again, I'm not talking about spending a whole heap of money here. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do for free. When things are good, that's when you should be planning way ahead, not just, having your head down dealing with the customers, but okay, what can we do to maintain this level of business long term? How can we retain these customers? How can we make sure they're coming back? How can we, sweet talk them and look after them, and again, let them know that we're here for them? And that's when you can implement some of the things that I've just spoken about today. And then again, Black consumers, again, the patience that we need you to have with us, because even myself, I sell products and services and things like that as well. And I really appreciate it when customers give me feedback about ways that they think that I can improve my business as well. And of course, it gets me in my feelings for like 10 seconds, but not in a way that it would ever make me feel like, negatively towards them. I always highly appreciate like when people say that they feel like I could be doing something better, because that's how we grow. That's how we grow. We grow by, falling down and getting back up again, as long as you don't stay down. Like, because there's been I've been in business for like over a decade. There's been times where I've gone a month with no sales, and then there's times when I've had more sales in one day than I've had for 3 months. You know, there are peaks and troughs in business, and it's about being willing to keep going with the process, and again, consumers to keep going with the process of supporting Black businesses as we all grow together. So again, 100% please support all the initiatives that are happening, but let's put these, or aim to put, and again, this is not like professional advice, this is just my opinion on the situation from being around for a bit. These are some things I feel that we can practically implement in the community to help make this a movement as opposed to a moment. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to run away now because I'm sure I've got dishes that have got my name on them that I'm meant to be doing. And please do go ahead and check out my website. So like I said, I've just started stocking vitamin C powder. I still have Cersei tea. I still have sea moss available. And I've just created an immune boosting bundle, which includes vitamin C powder, a liquid probiotic drink called Raw Biotics, and something else. Vitamin C powder, Raw Biotics, and sea moss. That's it. So you can get a whole immune boosting bundle on my website, thenaturallyyoucoach.com/shop. Thank you so much for everyone who's been joining me today. Greetings, sis. Greetings, Queen Nye. Thank you for joining me. The key is to, as you said, listening to customers and going with what customers are saying. It's an ongoing process. Thank you so much, Marcia. I 100% agree with that. And the thing is, yeah, we just need to have patience with each other. And don't get me wrong, I understand that there are some consumers that you just do not want to have come back to your business. There's just some moany people out there that just complain about everything. I'm not talking about those people. And there's also a lot of Black businesses who just who 100% do not want to take responsibility for whether their business succeeds and fails, and they 100% want to put it on their clientele. Not all Black businesses need to be supported. Not all consumers need to be pandered to either. But that is the case with everything. We don't want to allow those negative situations to deter us from the very real work of building the community. And in fact, what the benefit of what we can do right now is show our children how they can get along, because we created a Black Wall Street. We've had these situations before. Even if you go on YouTube right now, there's a video called the 10 richest African American communities in Texas. Like, we know how to build business. We know how to work together and do these things. It's just, again, we've had some knockbacks that have created some challenges for us, but now we have the opportunity to rebuild ourselves again. And as we're rebuilding as adults, our children get to see what it looks like when Black people support Black businesses, and then it becomes something that's almost second nature to them, that they know that that's something that they're expected to do as they're growing up and when they become adults as well. And hopefully when they have businesses, they know that they need to look after their customers. They know how to look after their customers. They know how important Black business, supporting Black businesses are, and being a Black business is. All of these things are super important. And my husband's written and illustrated a book called Round and Round, where he literally has created a simple rhyming story that teaches Black children about not only entrepreneurship, but group economics in the Black community. Group economics in the Black community. And again, some people on the feed may not even 100% know what those words mean, and I know I didn't know what those words even meant maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but basically group economics is where a group of people make sure that the money moves around between that group of people as much as possible before it leaves. So we know that in the Asian community, the money circulates in an Asian community several times before they have to spend money elsewhere. In the Jewish community, in the white community, in the Black community, it sometimes doesn't even go around once. We make money and it goes straight out. We make money and it goes straight out. So we need to keep money in our community more easily. And again, possibly taking on some of these recommendations will help us to keep money in our community for longer. So again, we have that foundation that we can build on, which a lot of other communities are building on and thriving with. So again, thank you so much for joining me today on Facebook and on Instagram. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care and stay healthy. And have a lovely weekend, and take care and stay healthy.